Hello, good day, everybody. This is your host, host of Club Sports. We're coming to you live right here in Leesburg, Virginia, Loudoun County. Here today, ladies and gentlemen, get you guys for the Cowboys put a beat down at their home turf against the Eagles, 41-21. And I can tell you, and I'll tell you, the Cowboys even had the guts to get to the playoffs. So I can tell you about that for sure. I'll tell you guys about the fact that Matt Nagy is considering putting Justin Fields, Andy Dalton, Andy Dalton, and Nick Foles being considered as starters for the game against the Lions, by the way. I'll get you guys to that. Telling you guys about the fact that Michael Porter Jr. agreed to a 5-year, $207 million max extension offer with the Nuggets. I'll get you guys to that. Get you guys to the fact that Ronda Rousey had her first kill. By the way, I'll tell you what the kill's name is. Get you guys to that a former WWE star has died at 46, by the way. And I'll tell you who that is. I'll get you guys to feel that John Strowman's out of the hospital after he had hospitalized some bruised lungs, by the way. Get you guys that for sure. Tyron Woodley gets the I Love Jake Paul tat on his middle finger, by the way. So that's all there is for that. Gotti becoming the co-team owner for the DC United soccer team. Get you guys to that for sure. Get you guys to the fact that Janquel Jones is named the 2020 WNBA MVP. Get you guys to the fact. And a former Gators women's b-ball coach is accused of abuse, racist comments, and all the other things. I'll get you guys to that for sure. And Josh Gordon is going to be some of the Chiefs practice squad. And I'll tell you where next year's Royal Rumble is going to be at, guys. So, Royal Rumble is going to be at in 2022. Get you guys to that. WWE Royal Rumble, by the way. That's all there's you to know on that. All right, so first things first, I'm going to start with the fact that Cowboys put a 20-point beat down on the Eagles last night at AT&T Stadium at their home turf. So clearly, Cowboys, they put a beat down on the Eagles 41-21. And it must feel good to see Dak Prescott, and the Cowboys' offense and defense just literally now the Eagles so badly. Like clearly, sure week 4 they got the Panthers they made, and Panthers could probably beat the Cowboys there. But I don't see the Cowboys getting to the playoffs. I can tell you about that. I really don't. I hope they don't make the playoffs. Sure, Dak Prescott's doing pretty good. Sure, he has made quite the impression, and sure he's recovering from that gruesome low left leg injury that kept him on the shelf throughout all last season. But I'll tell you though, it felt good to see him come back. But I think I don't see Dak Prescott. In the Cowboys, they do make the playoffs. They're still gonna get beat up anyway, whether by Tampa Bay Bucks or whether by the Rams or Packers. So that's all there is. You need to know in there, everybody, or Seahawks. So there's no way in hell that Dak Prescott is not gonna be walking out as a Super Bowl champion, which he will not. Cowboys, they're not going to title time, which they won't. So that's all there is. You need to know in there, everybody. So Cowboys, even if they do make the playoffs, they're still going to get eliminated anyway. I'll tell you about that, though. And that's all I got to say on that, everybody. But Cowboys, as far as I know, they're not going to the playoffs. Sure, they may be top of the NFC least, but they're not going to the playoffs. I can tell you about that. And sure, they may have put a beat on the Eagles last night, but they're still going to get beat up badly anyway. So if Dak Prescott does get injured yet again, it's over for him yet again. So clearly, Dak Prescott did pretty good. As long as he doesn't get injured, he should be in good hands for now. I can tell you about that. So that's all there's needs doing that. Also, some other news, by the way, I want to get into, by the way, that Michael Porter Jr. has agreed to a 5-year, $207 million max extension offer with the Nuggets, by the way. So that's a big move for him right there. I can tell you about that. That's all there's needs doing that, everybody. In other news, that Gotti is now co-team owner for the DC United soccer team, by the way. He owns 2 to 3% of DC United, and it's worth $750 million, by the way. So that's huge. I can tell you about that, though. That's everything to know in that. So best news yet there. Also, some sad news here that former WWE star Ryan Sakoda is deceased at 46, by the way. The cause of death has been unknown, but he died this past month, by the way. I think September 4th, by the way. He was one of Tajiri's and tag team partner Jimmy Wang Yang. And the cause of death toll is very unknown, guys. And he did work at Disney World, Disneyland's California hotel. So awful news there. My thoughts and prayers go to Ryan Sakoda, his family members, all of his fans, all of his viewers, all his subscribers. His horrific loss, and he was 46, guys. So keep them in your prayers, everybody. Keep Sakoda's family members in your prayers, the fans in his prayers. They'll be using your prayers of that horrific loss. That's all there's need on that. And others, by the way, Tyron Woodley gets the "I love Jake Paul" tag on his middle finger. By the way, this is what after that piece of trash Jake Paul took out Tyron Woodley. By the way, he got his middle finger. By the way, so that's all there's need on that. So clearly, he can erase that. I'll tell you about that much. So not gonna Woodley. And also this, guys. Justin Fields, Andy Dalton, and Nick Foles are considered to start a Week 4 game against the Lions, by the way. Now, Fields got an injured right throwing hand. He got X-rays are negative. Andy Dalton, that piece of Andy Dalton has a bruised knee. I know it's going to Nick Foles, by the way. But clearly, Matt Nagy is throwing Justin Fields on the bus. Sorry, guys. He is throwing Nick Foles on the bus, and Andy Dalton and himself on the bus. He's throwing the Bears stable on the bus, and he's throwing himself under the bus as well. So the Bears, they need to get together. Because I'll tell you this, if Nick Foles was starting that game, Bears wouldn't have a disastrous start. Because Justin Fields was supposed to be MVP candidate. What happened to him on Sunday? Slaughtered. They just got slaughtered. Because the Bears are just pressured. Justin Fields was pressured in that game. He had 9 sacks in that game. He was ransacked a couple times. And he threw the ball 20 times in that game. And he got an injured hand. So clearly, I'm very upset that Matt Nagy's just throwing himself on the bus. Matt Nagy, get it together, all right? You pick who's going to be starting quarterback for Week 4 that game against the Lions. You pick it, all right? Don't just play possum later, but don't do that, all right? Will Justin Fields become starting quarterback again and have a different outcome? Not that disastrous outcome from Sunday. Oh no. Because Matt Nagy fed Justin Fields to the Lions, fed him to the Wolves against the Browns, and they got beat down by the Browns. Like clearly, Matt Nagy just threw Justin Fields in the bus, which he did. He threw himself under the bus. He threw Bears fans in the bus. He threw the whole team under the bus. That's what he's doing. So Matt Nagy is going to end up getting released. If Justin Fields is starting quarterback for Week 4 and he has another disastrous start, Matt Nagy is going to be done. And I mean done. I'll tell you that, though, guys. So Matt Nagy, you better get it together. Because you're supposed to help Justin Fields. You're supposed to help Justin Fields. Justin Fields is supposed to start a quarter. Justin Fields is supposed to have him make a good impression. His debut was foiled, by the way. And clearly, needless to say, that Justin Fields. I know he's gonna get through this. I know it's a tough game. It's just one bad game. It's a big deal, which it is. But I think Justin Fields is gonna turn himself around. I think he's gonna avoid the pressure, and I think that Justin Fields needs to at least adapt more. Is what he's got to do. So Justin Fields got to get together. He's got to play more like an MVP, which he has to be. So Justin Fields get together. You got to step it up. It's not Justin Fields' fault. It's Matt Nagy's fault. So Matt Nagy better correct himself on that. Also, guys, Josh Gordon, who was released after being suspended for substance abuse and PEDs, by the way, he's signed with the Chiefs practice squad, by the way. So that's interesting news right there. Hopefully he avoids disaster yet again. He avoids disaster for sure, guys. Another news that St. Louis is going to be hosting Royal Rumble in January 2022, guys. So that's the price there. So once again, guys, St. Louis is going to be hosting WWE Royal Rumble in January 2022. So that's interesting news right there. That's all there is you got to know on that, everybody. So that's, sorry, guys, all there is you got to know. And, yep, it's a feel good moment right there, everybody. And, yep, best yet there, everybody. And that's all there is to go. So once again, guys, St. Louis will be having the Royal Rumble, by the way, in January 2022. And that's everything to know on that, everybody. Sorry, guys. In other news, by the way, I want to get into that. Once again, congrats to Rowdy, Ronda Rousey, and Travis Browne at their first kiddo, which is a little girl, by the way. It's named La'akea Makalapuaokalanipo Browne. That's a really, really, really long name there. So clearly, I'll name the kiddo like La'akea Browne. So that's all there is for that. The middle name is it's a little hard to pronounce. So yes, Ronda Rousey and Travis Browne had their first kiddo, which is a little girl, La'akea Browne. That's all I'm saying there. So congrats to them on both of that. It's very clear Ronda Rousey is going to come back. I'm not sure Ronda Rousey is going to come back to WWE. Her offer did expire this past year, but no, she's going to come back. So who knows what Ronda Rousey is going to have in store, by the way, guys. So big congrats to Ronda Rousey having her first kiddo, by the way. And so there's need someone that. Other news that Mount Zion Williamson is recovering from a foot surgery, by the way, during this off season. That's all there's need someone there, everybody. Also, guys, some other news, by the way, I want to get into, by the way, that Eli Manning flipped the double birds on live TV last night, saying the experiences with Eagles fans, describing them. Eagles fans are ruthless, by the way, which they are, by the way, even though G-Man and Eagles, they don't like each other, which they don't, by the way. It's all these details on that. In other news, that Josh Allen was out of the hospital after he was hospitalized from bruised lungs, by the way. So them without prayers out to him, his family members, and his fans, and he's out of the hospital for now, and we're supposed to cover on that. That's all there's you got to know on that, everybody. And that's all there's you to know on that. So Josh Allen was out of the hospital after he had bruised lungs, and that's all there's you got to know on that, everybody. Also, got some other news I want to get into, by the way, that Janquel Jones is named the 2020 WNBA MVP heading to the semis, by the way, so big congrats to her on that. And other news, by the way, I'm going to get into that a former Gators women's b-ball coach by the name of Cam Newbauer has been accused of abuse, making racist comments towards the women's b-ball players, by the way. And it was a bit of a toxic environment, by the way. There was intimidation, there was abuse and racist comments that were made, and he resigned. Now, Newbauer was accused of throwing balls at players at a player and at another player's injured leg. Newbauer even belittled them to them not thinking straight at all, not getting scholarships or complaining, by the way, even made them cry. So pushing to a wall, making them stronger. Newbauer even made racist comments to black players, telling them he liked their hair but won't touch it because he's not supposed to. He even said that ordered assistant coaches to take black freshmen shopping because he didn't think their clothing was appropriate. Look, Cam Newbauer, you're a piece of trash. Disrespecting women's basketball is just unacceptable. You people should know better. I'll tell you about that. Because even though you resigned, by the way, I'll tell you about that. You are a piece of trash. You disrespected women's b-ball, Florida Gators women's b-ball. You spat in their faces, and you should be in jail. And you should be charged for that heinous instance. I can tell you about that, though. And since former women's b-ball players are describing this incident, and it was a toxic environment, which it was, and that's all there's I can say on that, everybody. So that piece of trash learns his lesson, which he does. Also, some other news, by the way. Wish happy birthdays to Jado of NGPW, Naomi Watts. You got Amira Sorvino, Hillary Duff, Jeezy, Janet Evans, Olivia Jade, Maria Carvalhas Barrera, Tyler Lockett, Jason Jordan, Dita Von Teese, Mountie Roy, Kenya Scott, Olivia Jordan, Jesse Winter, Sarah Wright, Terrence Crawford, Muamman Dutta, Micah Hakkinen, Ryan Zimmerman, Ashley Frazier, Kendra Oyasanya, Anderson Verajal, Dylan Sabin, Michelle Money, Sarah Romer, Asia Azanti, Charlie Taylor. So somebody birthday wishes, shout out, tweet, please be sure to do so on that. And that's everything you need to know, everybody. And that's all I can say. So that's just news out there, everybody. Also, guys, 90% of the NBA Vax players said that training camp starts at Vax Stafford's Then now vax staffers, they're concerned about the health risk of being exposed to the young vax staffers and are upset. Players aren't facing same vaccine requirements, and most of them team staffers are. That's all you can do with everybody. So that's all to do right there. I'll be up, and ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do right there for the Club Sports War. Like, subscribe to the Club Sports War YouTube channel on Facebook by any and all means necessary. Your thoughts, your response to your comments, your tweets of Cowboys putting a beat on the Eagles last night, 41-21. Let me know about that. I'm just not sure, buddy. Your thoughts on also, guys, that Bennifer walked all over NYC and MSP for a quick smooch and then went to a sidewalk, locking and loading yet again. Thoughts about that? Your thoughts on, what are your thoughts on St. Louis hosting WWE Royal Rumble in January 2022? Let me know when it comes to about that. I'm just not sure, buddy. Also, guys, I want to address you guys this, that Baltimore, that WWE draft is going to be this coming Friday, guys, starting on SmackDown, and then next Monday on Raw, by the way, guys. So where will Drew McIntyre end up at? Is it going to remain on Raw to get a WWE title opportunity against Big E, or is it going to get a Universal title opportunity against the Tribal Chief and head of the table, Roman Reigns, for the Universal title? So let me know in the comments about that. Don't forget, guys, WWE draft is this coming Friday on October, and then next Monday night is part 2 of the WWE draft, by the way, guys, on Raw. So that's all these know on there, everybody. So that's all this I can say on that. What are your thoughts on, do you think Matt Nagy should release, by the way, Justin Fields and Dalton Nick Foles being considered as stars, by the way? Let me know in the comments about that. I'll just want to share, buddy. Thoughts on Eli Manning flipping the bird, by the way, and Eagles fans, thoughts about that. I'll just want to share, buddy. Your thoughts on Williamson recovering from foot surgery, by the way, let me know in the comments about that. I'll just want to share, buddy. So guys, Ronda Rousey Travis Browne had their first kiddo, by the way, at La'akea Browne. Let me know in the comments about that. Your thoughts about that. I'll just want to share, buddy. So your brother wishes out to Terrence Crawford, Naomi Watts, Jado, Mira Sorvino, Hillary Duff, Jeezy, Janet Evans, Olivia Jade, Maria Cavallis, Barrera, Tyler Lockett, Jason Jordan, Dita Vontice, Mountie Roy, Kenya Scott, Olivia Jordan, Jesse Winter, Sarah Wright, Mandetta, Mika Hakkinen, and Ryan Zimmerman. Let me know in the comments about that. I'll just want to share about it. That's all they're usually doing that. And that's all this is. I'll be back for breaking news. Times level, they and so on and a whole lot more in the Club Sports with everything sports related. And this is going to know all I got to say. But take care, you guys. You guys have a good day. Please be safe with that. Bye bye.